Hey, so this is going to be a boring video, and I'm posting it anyway. The purpose of the video, and I always talk so loud, I gotta practice not doing that. My mom was deaf, so I just grew up talking loud. My microphones have been crappy that I've used, so I finally went out and I spent a few $100 and got the DJI, this little thing up here. So this video is really testing this microphone to see how the audio is. But I figure I'll do a video on a topic that I like, probably nobody else likes because it's 2025. I grew up on the East Coast listening to people like Bob Grant and Howard Stern and WBAI out of New York and public radio, just anything. I was not a TV watcher. I still don't watch TV. I have a girlfriend or ex-girlfriend who brought a TV here, but since she went to find other interests outside of our relationships, I have the TV, but it hasn't been on in, I don't know, 5-6 years. Probably don't even know how to use it. But I'm just, I listen to radio all day long. I live out here in Arizona, so I listen to the local stations. I also stream the KFI out of New York, Los Angeles, and listen to that. And I like I said, I like listen to NPR. I don't care if it's liberal, conservative, whatever. I just like being entertained by radio. So I buy a lot of radios for camping, for sitting here, sitting out front, having a cocktail at night. These aren't even all my radios. I got other radios that are just not as mobile. But I want to just start talking about one kind of radio that I do listen to, which are these scanners. And here's 3 different types of scanners. These are police scanners or fire scanners or whatever you want to call them that picks up frequencies. I mean, you can even get like Walmart and listen to them if that tickles your fancy. This scanner is like a standard unit in Bearcat. Everybody from the 70s used these things. This is like for regular conventional radio. I use it to listen to airplanes. I'm kind of an airplane person. I'm a total nerd. Radios, airplanes, and guns or whatever, if you saw my other videos. But yeah, so I have a Phoenix Sky Harbor on this radio, and yeah, I'll sit out front and just turn this on, and oh, there goes Sky West. So yeah, they're calling in for heading for the runway in sight, doing final approach and staying at a certain altitude and getting the ground slope indicator stuff and all that. So one little radio. Another radio this is actually 2-way radio, although I don't use it for 2-way. I put our local DPS, which is Department of Public Safety here in like the Southeast. If you live in the North, they're called state troopers, maybe state police in other areas. Out here in Arizona, they're called DPS. I guess it's just a friendlier name than troopers. So I listen to them on this. There's different districts. I used to be in law enforcement, so I know the radio lingo. When I listen to it, I hear every word. I know that sometimes people, when they listen to it, they don't really understand what the people are saying. You kind of have to have an ear for it. So our DPS are on conventional, also fire, have some conventional stations, so I listen to the fire departments. Again, nerdy, right? This radio, a little bit more expensive. So this one's like, I don't know, like $80. This was like $25. This one was $700, and the reason it's $700, it's called a trunked radio. It picks up conventional and trunked. There's a system called a P25 trunked radio. And what these are like an entire city and its suburbs are going to be on like one radio system. So this used to pick up Scottsdale, Phoenix, Tempe, all those stations, and then they went encrypted. So I spent $700 to only have them go encrypted. The only thing this really gets now is Sheriff's Department, the Fire Department, and Phoenix, one of the downtown precincts in Phoenix. But still cool to listen to. So that's my like public radio stuff I like to listen to. Now, again, the AM FM radios, I got a couple here for different purposes. This one I actually bought, it's a Sony. You can't go wrong with Sony. AM FM actually has a disc player on it, and it has an input and output for if you're gonna play stuff through it, use it as a preamp. A friend of mine was going to the movies and he needed a radio. He knew I was into radios, so I let him use this so he can go to, it was a drive-in movie and they had to have, it was on an FM frequency. So I gave this to him, and you know, it's got the 2 speakers. Not totally old school, but kind of like the old school. And this is also, I keep this pretty much out back and I hook it up to a amplified system and I play it through bigger speakers. But it's just, basically I use to get the FM radio. This is more of a mobile one. This is when I sit out front of the house and I listen to my AM, FM. You know, if there's some good talk shows on, I'll listen to AM and see what the topics are. One of my favorite radio shows has been going on, oh, I don't know, I've been listening for like 30 years, is Coast to Coast AM. It used to be Art Bell. Now it's George Norrie. George Norrie's getting kind of old and he kind of sounds kind of old, but they're getting some newer, younger blood in there. But that's Coast to Coast. Listen to this one. It's got really good sound. After I have a couple of cocktails, I don't feel like listening to talk radio. I'll put some music on. It's actually great music. So this is the music sounds pretty good on that one. This is Sony. This is, it's called Sangean, Sangean, and I don't know if that's Korean or Chinese. Hope it's Korean and not Chinese. Sangean, but I tell you what, great radios, man. I actually have a couple of these, and they work great. They stay on frequency. They last forever. I've had these radios for a long time. This radio I had for like 15 years. This is another Sangean. It's funny because it's a great radio. It's worked really well. And I actually bought an updated model of it where it just has a couple more features to it. But these are the radios, like when I go for a 2-mile walk every night, and I'll either use this inside the ear, what the hell they call it, the ear thing. We'll just call it the ear thing, that works. So this goes inside the ear, and then this kind of sits outside the ear and plugs in there, and I'll actually wear one of my vests. I always wear vests, and I'll listen to that as I walk around the neighborhood, and usually I use these for that. Every now and then, if I don't feel like listening to radio, I might throw the scanner and, you know, throw it up here and put the earpiece in. Earpiece, that's what it's called. So that's what I'm using there. And then in my Fit Hits the Shan kit, let me try it again. In my Fit Hits the Shan, I'll tell you where I got that term from. This is actually an analog radio where it actually has a little thing that goes up and down as you tune it. It's not digital, it's fully analog. I figure if things go really bad, this is what I want, because I want to be able to tune in the actual stations, or maybe somebody's transmitting something else. But this is my emergency little radio. Very basic, very simple, would use very little power, where these would, you know, use up batteries a little longer. So that's kind of a couple of my radios. Again, I'm doing this video because I'm testing out this lanyard to see how well it works. And the Fit Hits the Shan. If you've ever seen the movie Pump Up the Volume with Christian Slater, he's a radio, what we used to call pirate radio. He got a ham radio. I'm actually a ham radio operator myself. But yeah, he, in one of the scenes, I guess to make it good for TV, they told him, instead of saying shit hits the fan, you'll see he's talking about it, and he actually says Fit Hits the Shan. So I don't know if it was supposed to be within FCC regulations why he said that in the actual movie, or if they did that so they can play it on TV. I don't know. It's just a little cool factual tidbit. I'm a radio guy. I like radios. I'm actually like an analog person. I love the old school ways of doing things. If it was up to me, I'd create a neighborhood that was like based between like 1985 and 1995, and that's the only technology we would have in our own little neighborhood, and actually go outside, do stuff, intermingle, talk to people face to face. Yeah, unfortunately there would be no YouTube, there would be no internet, but you know, there would be people. So anyway, so I hope this DJI thing worked. I'm going to listen to it. If it sounds okay, I'm going to post a video, because I don't run this channel for money or likes or anything like this. It's my own personal thing. It's a hobby. I practice talking. I practice presenting. Sometimes I talk too fast. I watch these videos. Sometimes I go into left field and down rabbit holes like I'm doing right now. So I'm going to end this video. Thank you for watching. Cheers.